Hey, what is up, you guys? It is Antho here, and I haven't forgotten about the Scorching Ray Totems character, but unfortunately I'm going to put it on hold, probably for later in the league as a second or third character, because the idea was to make like a Giga Tank build that could basically face tank anything, but still do solid DPS. And it was going to do like 9-10 million DPS under good conditions. I've still not been feeling too good. I still have COVID. I've still been testing positive with antigen tests. Started not feeling good on the 7th. I got tested on Tuesday. I was positive. Friday I was positive. Sunday I was positive. And just yesterday I was positive with an antigen test. So I was referred to what is long COVID. Or just a long ass bout of COVID. So I am feeling a lot better though. So I've actually been able to do some stuff, and that was basically adjust Youngrone's Poison Spectral Helix Assassin from like 2.5 leagues ago into a better, more updated version for the new league. I posted on the Path of Exile build subreddit. Got a lot of traction. It's like the top post for basically the week. I have 3 POBs here. They're POB bins, which are really useful for just getting stats at a glance. Then you can just copy this and import into POB. But the 3 POBs I have for an assassin, really mid-budget gearing, an assassin well geared, and a trickster well geared. So the budget assassin is using just level 20 gems, no quality other than on the main setup. Then I have a 21 Spectral Helix, but you can drop that down. It doesn't drop the damage that much, but everything else is just level 20 gems, no quality. Unless it necessitates quality like Assassin's Mark. Because we need the cursed enemies have 5% chance you're going to power charge when hit. So we need that for power charge to sustain. Because without power charges, we have 91% crit, which is still really good. And then even if without power charges, if you were to take your Angel's Harmony and catalyst it with crit, you back up to 99% crit. And then, of course, I don't even have a max roll here. One sec, my air conditioner was on. So, don't have a max roll there. So with a max, or close to max roll, I mean, even like let's take this catalyst off for a second so I can see what I'm doing. Even like a 335, which is 15% off a max roll, but with the crit catalyst, you're back up to 100% crit chance even without power charges. So your choice whether to get a 2020 Assassin's Mark or just catalyst your Angel's Harmony. And now I do have a Corrupted Soul, Doriani's Glorious Vanity, and this has Ritual of Shadows for chance to wither. This in conjunction with a totem. Multiple totems with Withering Touch would keep you at 100%, 100% of the time, 15 Wither stacks. And then, of course, we also have Withering Step to give you 6 to start out with for 3 seconds. So you will be at 100% Wither stacks all the time, as long as you're hidden with target. I just used the Find Timeless Jewel thing, and then for Elemental Equilibrium, which is the jewel socket we want. Desired nodes added on. Where is it? How do we do this again? Oh, here we go. Ritual of Shadows. And then I did filter nodes, which basically excludes nodes that you're not pathing toward. So I picked up these 3 nodes here. So it'll exclude any nodes that are not these nodes for looking for Ritual of Shadows. This allows us to basically get Ritual of Shadows and then also anoint Corruption. 35% increased wither effect. So rather than anointing whatever passive Ritual of Shadows takes, it's just 3 nodes, and then you also get Corruption, which is a big bonus. And then you can also search for smaller nodes by full DPS. So let's go back, Ritual of Shadows. Primary node weight, let's do like 5. Minimum node weight, do like 117 or something. And then generate, these generates fallback nodes, which are basically nodes that give you damage, like aura effect, physical damage, chaos damage, stuff like that, damage over time. Then you search, and we found 3239 is the one I'm using right now. But you can also use 6759. All of these are 198.4, which is basically the most damage you can get on the jewel. So you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Actually, those are more than that. So I think it's like 15 or 16 different seed options. So you can search for 16 of those different seeds on PoE Trade to get the most optimal. And then you can get less optimal for 193.88, you know. And this is just with these exact settings, but you don't have to have these exact settings. Just have the minimum node weight be like 100 or so. The primary node weight would be like 5 or so. So, and then sort by full DPS, and which will create fallback nodes, which are basically the small nodes that give you extra damage. And then you can just search, and then you get your seeds. So this is using the Covenant, which is probably going to be expensive next week, but you don't need it. You drop down to 4.3 million DPS without it, but that's efficacy. You just simply add on added chaos damage, and you're back up to 6.4 million in a 6 link, and this can be a tabula, completely just a tabula. So Wasp Nest Tabula, Zeri Step, Angel's Harmony. Pretty cheap stuff. And then excuse me. Sorry, I still have a cough from COVID. But your totem, Sexual Protector, multiple totems, Withering Touch, just to keep Withering Touch up better. I really couldn't find any better use for the sockets, so I might as well go multiple totems, Withering Touch. Helps keep your wither up. Auras are Defiance, Banner, Determination, Grace, Precision. This should actually be level 1. And this should be 6% reduced armor and evasion rating. Because I think it only gives 24% now. Maximum of 24% armor and evasion rating. Which doesn't change a lot, but it's useful to note. So our 6th link is Spectral Helix, Nightblade, Vicious Projectiles, Fog Manipulation, Unbound Elements, Added Chaos. Nightblade, Added Chaos, and Unbound Elements are the most important ones here. So this 4 link is your absolute most important 4 link for leveling before you get Covenant, and then once you get Covenant, you drop out Added Chaos for efficacy. Do not take Deadly Ailments because we want to leech. This absolutely kills our leech. Because it gives you 80% less damage with hits, so we should have Void Manipulation and Vicious Projectiles, which will give us a solid amount of leech, which will give us 685 leech. That should be more. Why is that not more? Like damage loses life. That should be more leech. Something's messed up. Oh, it's because we're dealing less damage, that's why. If you want extra leech, you can then spec into this here, which then gets you up to 1109. Then you can also spec into extra maximum leech or damage while leeching, which will get you even more DPS for just 3 nodes on the tree. You can swap out any 3 nodes you want. Like you can drop like this. And you can drop other stuff, just like entropy. I would keep sleight of hand because sleight of hand is pretty efficient. And you can also drop the spell suppression mastery here. It'll keep you over 100% here on assassin. With Adziri's step. Without Adziri's step, you're gonna want that. But once you get Adziri's step, which is easy because Adziri's step just comes from normal Adziri, you can buy sets of Adziri sets with just the fragments, and then run Adziri. Within like 10 runs, you'll get an Adziri step, and the fragments basically cost nothing. So, and you'll always pretty much always make your money back because even the flasks, the Adziri's Adziri's, what is it? I have my COVID brain. I can't remember. Adziri's promise will still give you a solid return on investment if you get one of those. They'll be like 5 to 10 C early on, especially if you get a good roll. Like if you get double 8% rolls or 8% roll, it'll give you a solid return on investment. But your best choice is the Covenant. And then efficacy, which will give you about 12 million DPS. 92, what did I take out? I did take out this and this. And let's just go back and back in. So with the Covenant, it'll be 10,414,000. What was wrong? There we go. 30,107,000. I think I messed up my my post on Reddit actually, so I'm gonna fix that real quick. So, and then we have a well-geared assassin version which deals 30 million burst DPS, which is basically just the Covenant. Eldritch implicits on everything. The rings are pretty cheap. Well, not really cheap, but accuracy rating, life, res. Despair, res, and then I just have it augmented with catalyst for res. Belt is just strength, life, res. And then of course a Watcher's Eye for additional physical damage reduction, because that's basically our weak point here. And then Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flesh for polymath, considering we're getting Assassin, and then we're getting polymath from Trickster, which is giving us a considerable amount of damage and a considerable amount of life, ES, and mana on kill. It's basically the same tree, except it's geared up better. And we do take Whispers of Doom because we have a Despair on hit ring. So this is going to be in the description as well. Then we have our Assassin. Our Trickster, which deals more DPS than the base Assassin, but this is actually a well-geared version. With Covenant, Catalyst, Angel's Harmony, Adziri's Step, and Eldritch Implicits on our gear. And then Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flesh for Noxious Strike to get a bunch of extra damage. So the advantages of Trickster are that Escape Artist is pretty good. Spellbreaker is really good. It eases up gearing and tree stuff. We can completely drop this cluster here because we get 20% chance to suppress spell damage. You get 10% extra spell damage suppression, so instead of 50% it's 60%, except we're also picking this up, which means it's 63%, so When you suppress spells, which is 100% of the time, you are taking 63% less damage from them, which is just nuts. And then when you do suppress a spell, which is 100% of the time you get hit with a spell hit, there's a 50% chance for energy shield recharge to start when you suppress spell damage. And your energy shield recharge is 672. So basically half the time you get hit with a spell hit, which should be pretty much always while mapping, and then a solid amount of time while bossing. You're going to get 672 recharge per second until you get hit again. This can in theoretically be procced over and over and just have permanent recharge if you get hit enough times. Soul Drinker is great. Damage Leech's energy shield is good, but we're using energy leech support anyway, so it doesn't actually matter that much. But the rest of it is great because attack and cast speed will leeching energy shield, and then overleech for energy shield, which is fantastic. Even though we only have 185 ES leech per second overleech, that's still a considerable amount of overleech, and let's basically consider that as like 185 extra regen, which is great for, you know, ground degen effects after you've killed monsters, lingering stuff in arenas like, you know, volatile anomalies and Shaper's arena and stuff like that, and Uber Elder, you know, because the leech, I think overleech lasts for 5 seconds if I'm not mistaken. So for 5 seconds after that, you're getting 185 ES per second back to you, which is good. And then it also allows the use of energy leech to satisfy both conditions of energy leech support. So you will be on full energy shield because basically you have so much energy shield sustain because you're getting a crap ton from polymath on kill. You are recharging it every time you suppress spell damage, or half time you suppress spell damage from Spellbreaker, and then you have overleech from Soul Drinker. So you are satisfying the condition of being a full energy shield while also leeching energy shield. So you get a 14% more multiplier and a 24% more multiplier, which I don't really remember if those apply separately or together, whether that's 39% or if it's 1.24 times 1.14. Considering it's a single sword gem, I would assume they're additive, but they could be multiplicative with each other. Either way, actually, let's check. So our more multiplier for total more. Where am I looking here? $59% more there, 39% more there. %. Okay, so they are separate. They are separate instances of more multipliers, so they are multiplicative actually. So it's 1.24 times 1.14. That's really cool actually, because that's more damage than you would expect it to have. So they are separate more multipliers. Movement, Flame Dash, Shield Charge, faster attacks. I didn't talk about this in the other POBs, but you know chasm damage taken, Immortal Call, low level CWTT, and Immortal Call. Fall Haste, increased duration for burst on bosses. Plague Bearer, awaken increased area effect, Withering Step, Assassin's Mark. Drop Assassin's Mark on the boss. It'll be there forever because marks are permanent now. Plague Bearer, you're gonna fill it up. You could probably want it to be a level 21 on the Wilgrid version. And then we have a mastery for Plague Bearer's 20% increased maximum plague value, which I don't remember how much that is. I think it's like 1.4 million or something like that total with the 20% increased. So it's like 140,000 damage per second over 10 seconds. 12% of the plague value when affecting weekend. It's probably more than that. So regardless, Withering Step is to reset your elusive. You want to put this on left click. On all three versions of this build, you want to put Withering Step on left click and always have it on left click because that resets the elusive effect. Because if you don't know, let's go back to this version because this has a higher elusive effect. The maximum elusive effect crit when you crit with Nightblade here is 238%. Yeah, something's wrong. It should be higher than that. Fifty, 40, 10, 40, 38. This should be 278, I think. I messed something up, but this should be 278. So basically when you proc your Nightblade, it gives 278, and then it ticks down 20% per second, so you're going to do minus 60. Because Withering Step has a cooldown of 3 seconds. And then you're going to average the two. So your average elusive should be 248%. So yeah, this has been a long rambly video, but this is what I'm going to be league starting. It's really easy. I have notes here that are created by Jungron. Or Youngron. I'm not sure actually how his name is pronounced. I don't think he's ever really pronounced it on this channel. I added this line here. Freaking Covenant use add chaos damage support instead of efficacy. Yeah, it's very important. It's a lot more damage. So, basically that is it. Long rambly video. I have all the POBs in the description. So feel free. Oh yeah, I also have leveling trees to make it easy on you. So Cruel Lab, Work Lab, then level 95. So basically that's it, and peace out.